There were a couple of comments, as there always are on the videos, especially when I'm discussing by way of history from historical books that I do have that are over 100 years old. Well, really, all of them are close to 200 years old. For example, History of Slavery, which goes back or covers the history over the last 2,000 years, all the way back to the Greeks, the Romans, the Athenians, on up to the transatlantic slave trade. So that book was published in 1860, so it's that old, and the American Slave Code, published in 1853. So these books that I have, antiquarian books, were written by abolitionists, white men, and they did not mince words. They told the bold-faced truth about what was going on. So I'll have people in my comment section, and they want to deny the facts, the truth, in any way they can. And usually they'll start off saying, oh, that's not true. Like my last reading, slaves could not have families. Oh, that's not true. They could have families and this and that. Absolutely not. It was written in the legislation, in law, in the states, the southern states, that they could not have families because, first of all, the family is based on the institution of marriage. And if they were allowed to have families, that automatically made them free according to law. So, I have these people, these detractors, and they try to come into my comment section and dispute historical truth. Yes, Arabs had slaves, Muslims had slaves, but everyone had slaves. The Ethiopians had slaves. The difference between all other people that had slaves was that the transatlantic slave trade, the slave trade imposed on our ancestors by Europeans, was the most fiendish, the most savage, the most brutal slavery that ever existed in the history of mankind. And the abolitionists, the white abolitionists, they say so. They were there. Those books that I have, they were eyewitnesses. They went on the slave ships. They went to the slave plantations and they saw it all and they recorded it. So whether you want to believe it or not, those of you out there disputing truth, but it's written in history, and also the books are in the Library of Congress. It was about 250,000 of our ancestors that were put on those ships during the transatlantic slave trade. Virginia was a breeding state. They would breed the slaves and sell them. So out of that 250,000, by the time slavery was over, it was 10 million enslaved people that were emancipated and literally walked off those plantations into the blackness of night, into nothing. They had no place to go. That's the thanks that our ancestors had for literally laying the foundation of the wealth of this country. So again, nobody is going to care about what is going on in our communities, our families, individually, unless we care about it ourselves and fix it. So with that, family, I just want to say thank you for viewing and thank you for your support and encouragement. Wa alaikum salam.